over the next couple of minutes, I want to talk primarily about your new venture. It's called Homebot.
Yes.
And give me a 30-minute summary of what Homebot is.
Sure. So I like turning my hobbies into businesses whenever possible. I mean, if you're going to be spending a lot of time on something, it needs to be something you're passionate about. It needs to be something you enjoy doing. And so when I find something I'm passionate about and I enjoy doing, I try and make a business from it. So I started building a house up in Parklands North a couple of months ago, and my friend, who's an electrical engineer, told me about all the home automations he was doing in his house. And when I started building, I went to him and I said to him, but I really want to do some of this stuff for me as well. What are the options out there? What are the systems out there? And we started looking at what you can do to remotely control your lights and your appliances and your doors and gates and all that stuff. And there are ways to do it, but it is horrendously expensive in South Africa. There are a couple of companies who sell products and service locally, but most of it is imported, which explains the price. Or you can go yourself and get all the hardware and the software and so on from overseas, but you're looking at a lot of money to get started. Like just a basic lights control implementation, you're probably looking at 20,000-30,000 rand if you use one of those solutions.
For a 3 or 4 bedroom house?
Yeah.
That's heavy.
It's heavy. And then this electrical engineer friend of mine, he told me about this company who's a local company. They're based in Milnerton. They're called Quick Switch.
Mm-hmm.
And they have been building this hardware for a very long time that allows you to remotely control your various devices. And what's great about them is they added an open API to that hardware as well. Now, for the people who aren't programmers...
Say that in English?
Yeah, for the people who aren't programmers, an API is what a computer program can use to speak to another computer program and to control it. And so this company, QuickSwitch, built this awesome hardware. They're selling it at a very reasonable price. It's like a third of what you would pay for the stuff from overseas. And they've got an API. And so my friend and I went and we kitted out our houses with QuickSwitch hardware. And being a software developer, I went and built the software that we wanted to use to control all of this as well. And we had a nice little thing going, and we showed it to some friends. And the people that we showed it to told us, but geez, we want this as well. Where can we buy it? Where can we sign up? And we realized we've actually got a potential business there. And so we launched Homebot a couple of weeks ago. And what we do now is people can go to our website, homebot.cloud. They can sign up there and specify what devices they want in their house, how many appliances they want to control, things like heaters and coffee machines and so on, how many sets of lights in the various rooms, whether they want to do their garage doors, their motor gates, their irrigation system, all of that. And we will then put together the entire hardware package for them, pre-configure it all, link it all to our software, and just send them a nice little box with instructions for the electrician. The electrician can come out for a quick session, just install everything for them, and there you go, you've got a fully automated house. And best of all, instead of paying that 30,000-40,000 rand base fee, we've worked it out. For an average 3-bedroom house, you're looking at paying around 9,000 or 10,000 rand, and then you're fully automated. Then you can remotely control your lights, for example, from your phone. If you go to work and you can't remember whether you switched off the heater, you can log into our system on your phone. You can switch off the thing back home. You can link our system up to third-party services. So let's take irrigation, for example, with a drought in Cape Town now. If we do get rain, you don't want your sprinklers to run on that day as well. So you can link our system up to a weather service. And if there's a rain forecast, it automatically pauses your sprinkler system so it doesn't run that day. Or, for example, you can link it up to something that will tell our system when it's sunset or sunrise at your location, and you can switch your outside lights on and off, all kinds of nice things like that. And we're adding on a whole lot of other features as well. We're doing cameras, we're doing electronic locks and various other things. But yeah, it's very exciting and doing quite well.
When you were showing it to me, one thing that alarmed me is the simplicity of the design. So there's one thing you're obviously very good at is simplifying design, giving it a whole minimalist but very efficient Bauhaus sort of effect.
Yes.
But more than that, it's how you've gone to the heart of what people want. The nice thing is you can change the light, not just on and off, but you can change the intensity of the light. So you've got the dimmer switch element built into the app. The fact that it's all linked to your mobile device, you can geolocate where you are, so that within a certain distance from your house, certain things happen. And the example you gave me that, if you're say 500 meters from your house, it switches on your coffee machine.
Yes.
As you get 50 meters from your house, it turns your alarm off, and as you get 10 meters from your house, it opens the garage door. And all automated, which is mind-blowing. It's something out of Star Wars or James Bond. I want it so badly for my house. And my biggest fear, because I've got a friend of mine who's been doing this for a long time, but the only people who can afford it are the Camps Bay, your Llandudno, very, very, very high mansions.
Yeah.
You're bringing it to everybody. You're making it affordable, but also local, which I think is also nice.
Yes, you don't want to have to call someone overseas when something goes wrong with your house. I mean that's very core. That's very near to your heart. If something goes wrong at home with your electronics or with your power, you want someone who can deal with it immediately. And so we provide a 24/7 support to our users as well. If anything goes wrong, we'll fix it for them. And it's all about making it simple as well. We will set up absolutely everything for someone who isn't technical. They can just tell us they want this to happen when that happens, or they want this to be automatic, or they want that linked up to this button, or they want to press something on their phone or speak to Amazon Alexa and say a certain word, and then that must happen. We'll do all of that for them, and they can just start using it. So it's cost and it's convenience and it's local-based support and local-based hardware. I think it's a winning combination, and yeah, I'm hoping it'll do well.
Well, I can't see why it wouldn't. One of the biggest problems, however, in any business when you get started is how do you reach enough people to tell them about it? Obviously, coming on the radio does help. But how are you finding the spread of word? What channels are you using to get the message out there?
So over the years, I've built up a relatively big business network, just a lot of people, and we all talk to each other and share ideas and so on. Something like that is key, because if you build up a network like that, and you can spread the word about something via word of mouth, that's always much more effective than advertising, I found at least. And then alongside that, we're specifically speaking to people who have an interest in this kind of stuff and who just haven't been able to find a good local solution. Because what I've seen with a couple of the other things I do as well is if you target the people who are the influencers, the people who other people come to ask questions about various things, and you get them on board with what your product or your service is, they're going to help you spread the word much more effectively than you going out and buying a whole bunch of ads or running something on the radio or the TV or whatever. So we're working through our networks, we're trying to get in touch with influencers, and we're always happy to do free demos and all that as well. We want to get the stuff into people's hands.
So if people want to ask you any questions about home automation or how they can see your products or even demo the products, they can actually reach you?
Yes, they can. There's a link on our website that they can use to see a demo of what a dashboard would look like for their own home, including a floor plan where you can touch the rooms and it switches things on and off. That's homebot.cloud. And they're also welcome to phone me at any time. My number is 082-385-1589.
I'm blown away. Now, if is it really affordable for someone who, for example, lives in a bachelor's house? Would it be worthwhile? Or are you really looking at more your 3-4 bedroom houses?
It would be affordable, definitely, yes. For a bachelor pad, you're probably looking at less than 3,000 or 4,000 rand to get that out. It depends on your needs as well. The nice thing about automation software like this is you can replace many of the things you already have.
Give me an example.
So I'll give you two examples. The one is if you have a garden and you need an irrigation system. At the moment, you would have to go and buy the pipes and the sprinklers and the solenoids and your irrigation computer and all that stuff. And that becomes very expensive very quickly, especially that irrigation computer.
Okay.
With something like our system, you can set up your schedule on our system, just link your sprinkler system to our system, and Homebot will control when things switch on, when things switch off, and it will be smarter than that other irrigation system because it's connected to the internet and can look at things like weather and so on. Another example is say you're looking to buy a coffee machine. You can go and buy a really expensive coffee machine that has a timer built in so your coffee is ready for you when you wake up in the morning, or you can buy just a plain normal percolator machine that just switches on and off, but you link it up to our system does all the smart work for you. So we try and get people to leverage our system to add onto their existing devices, or at least their less expensive devices, the kind of features you'd expect from high-end devices.
Is it a big, bulky sort of thing you've got to plug into your wall and it becomes cumbersome because it's now sitting out 15 centimeters from the wall socket with lights and bleepers and its own needed whatever.
No, that's one of the reasons why we love this hardware. We're using the quick switch stuff as well. It's really small, and with things like plugs, if you want to replace a plug in your house and make that a smart plug that you can control remotely, you can actually take the existing plug out of the wall and have the special plug just built in instead of it. With things like lights, you barely notice any difference because most of it is just something that you put in the garage next to your DB board, and that just connects to the rest of the system. If you want to connect your house to the internet so you can control everything remotely, it's literally a little 5 by 5 centimeter box you plug into the back of your router, and that just connects everything up, and you're done. It's not intrusive. It's the bits that you do see, things like switches and panels and so on. They're all very well designed and they look nice as well.
I've got to admit, the whole thing about routers and Wi-Fi and the fact that I can be sitting in the bath browsing YouTube, for me that's still witchcraft. It's still something way beyond my old, born in the 1970s mind to grasp. But it always staggers me how these things become such a simple upgrade into your life. But the problem is, look, we live in a resource-strapped world these days. How much of a drain on, for example, the electricity bill would a system like this be?
Ideally, something like this should be saving you power, because one of the things we can do is, if you have a special device called a power clamp installed at your house, or if you use one of these smart plugs to control your appliances, those devices can measure how much power is coming into your house, how much power is being used by your various devices, and based on the power cost in your area, we can actually tell you how much power you spent on coffee this month, or what the rand value is of your electric blanket for the past week, things like that.
I bet that's your favorite part, is breaking it down to
I love breaking it down like that.
Oh my word.
So we can do that kind of stuff, and if you smartly control your geyser and you smartly control your devices, the things that tend to use most power, you can actually end up saving money using something like this. And we spoke just now about measurements and how much I love measuring things and so on. The interesting thing about a system like this as well is there's a lot of stuff happening in our houses that we don't necessarily measure. Like, I can't tell you how many times I switch a light on and off. I can't tell you how many times I'm in certain parts of the house, things like that. But the moment you start making a house smart, you can start measuring that stuff and you can start getting insights from it.
It blows my mind, and I tell you what, I can't wait to actually come and see it in your house active. Because,
oh, you're welcome.
I mean, the fact that you're sitting and having coffee with me the other day, turning the lights on and off in people's living rooms is hysterical. It tickled me so much. But I would love to sort of have this in my house just for simplicity. I'd love to sort of not have to wait on a cold kitchen floor while the kettle boils. I'd love to have it done so that I walk in and it's done.
Yes.
Maybe because I'm fat, old and lazy, but at the end of the day, it seems too good to be true. And the fact that you've brought it local and you've brought it down to a price range that people can afford, that's awesome. So,
Thank you.
Yeah, so people go to homebot.cloud.
Homebot.cloud or homebot.co.za, either of those will work. We've got a cost calculator on there. You just click the cost calculator button, you fill in some details about your house, and you'll see more or less what it's going to cost you to implement. And then, like I said, people are welcome to email or call me anytime, and I'm happy to go out and do a demo and take a look at their location and show them what we could do for them.
I highly recommend it.